and a Ragnar, and you will notice that there is no battleship.
There is not, and I think we're going to see this off and on today. I think you're going to probably find the occasional map where teams opt for no battleship, and it seems that way here on Islands of Ice. Opposing them from the south, this is the second place team off the Asia server. Their tag there is ELSR, but we're just going to call them Elysium. That's basically their team name, and it'll be much easier to keep up with them there. Now, it's interesting to me. There's some people on this team that I recognize. Quincy there, for example, played on NA for a very long time as a part of a variety of Asia teams that had accounts on NA and played competitive on A. So he's seen some of the opponents should this team advance and face an NA opponent later on.
Interesting.
Indeed.
Okay, so we're going to see Islands of Ice a bit today. We're going to see Warriors Path and Mountain Range in the rest of this series. We were just commenting off the stream how Mountain Range is a bit of an odd inclusion for a tournament like this.
Yeah, most competitive players do not like Mountain Range. Hell, most players in general don't like Mountain Range. I'm surprised to see it in the map rotation.
Yeah, exactly. But it might be interesting to see, different map being played. Just one note, I don't know whether SeaRaptor has this installed, but there is now a new mod for radar, which I'm just seeing activated here by Lulu.
Oh, you did get that installed.
So that one was pretty easy because it was part of the pack, part of the Aslane pack. So I do have that one installed. So I can say when things are in and outside of radar, which is pretty cool.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out before tomorrow. Then I'm not going to try and install it today during the event today.
See, it looks pretty useful. It's the first time I've seen it, so we shall see.
Now, one of the things we're seeing in these lineups is a bit of a different thought process in terms of how to approach the game. Right? Is that we're seeing Rain coming in with 2 radar cruisers, including Petro, with all of her recent nerfs. Apparently, they feel she's still a solid pick for this format, and then Elysium coming in with a Howden Liu, which honestly, I'm not sure I've ever seen a Howden Liu in competitive play. Maybe a little bit, off and on.
Yeah, it's honestly not been around long enough to really have been given a chance in a lot of competitive stuff. But yeah, we might, as you said earlier, we're going to see some weird stuff today because of the point system. So including super ships. So as you might have noticed, there is one super ship in this game. And the rule is for the super ships that if you bring a super ship, it becomes your flagship. And if you lose your flagship during a match, you are not allowed to bring that flagship again during the tournament. So if Elysium here lose their Annapolis, they can't bring another Annapolis this weekend.
They are allowed to bring other super ships. They can swap out, but they cannot bring that particular one again. So they could swap to Satsuma, for an example.
Exactly. What's really interesting is that some of the what we would call tier 11 ships actually cost fewer points than some of the tier 10s.
They do indeed, depending on which ship you're talking about. I think one of the things that surprised me, and we'll look at the points list when we've got some time in between games, I think for Annapolis in particular, one of the things that shocked me, Annapolis cost the same as Des Moines.
Yeah, exactly. And the Japanese Super Destroyer, that one is actually really low on points. It's actually really cheap. Presumably because the community who make the point list don't think it's very valuable.
Speaking of the Annapolis, looks like we've got Zao torpedoes coming in. Just now spotting these, going to take at least one in the stern. No, they ran out of range.
Summers took one. Summers took one right next to the Annapolis. So lovely Tian is down quite a few hit points there, running away. You can see the missing torpedo in the group.
Those must have been Holland torpedoes. Yeah, those are the Holland torpedoes.
Right.
I was like, if he'd taken a Zao torpedo, he'd be hurting a lot worse.
He would have known about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, now, so the Marceau has stepped onto the cap. So Shuri Kukuri is going to struggle here with the Howland. Nose in. There's no way that this Marceau can get out of there now. Under Des Moines radar, I think just spotted anyway. I think we're going to see the first ship go down here after 5 minutes.
There we go. First blood going to Rain, playing a very calm, patient, cap control sort of orientation here today. Not in a rush to dive destroyers into the cap, more worried about controlling the zones around it, using the radar to zone out the Elysium destroyers.
Yeah, this anyone who's played clan battles on this map will know that although it looks superficially symmetrical, this ACAP actually isn't very symmetrical. And so it's a lot easier to get a destroyer in from one side than the other. It's a lot easier to park a cruiser on the north side than it is on the south side, and so on. So it's not completely symmetrical. And so, the tactics that you would use on the north are different to the tactics you would use on the south, and that's what we're seeing here.
Howden Liu bomb strike going in on Lulu's Petro, but coming up completely empty, getting no shots out of that at all.
The Howden Liu of Azuma Saren here is being just peppered very, very slightly, down to 27.
Well, it looks like he's he's on double fires, and that is one of the big disadvantages, of course, if you've not played the top end of the Dutch cruiser line, that when they transition over to the heavies, they get basically super heavy cruiser fire duration. So even though because they have heals, they take 60-second fires, just like, say, an Alaska or a Stalingrad or something along those lines.
So Reigns Halland is just pushing into A now, having driven the Cabba off. Quincy is under fire and running, being chased by Ragnar, and also Lulu has backed up a little bit to try and
I think Lulu's going to get some shots here because Quincy's continuing to reverse. Quincy's just now caught sight of Lulu coming out from behind that island, and he's going to take some AP for it.
Interesting watching these cruisers play because they don't have to worry about battleship cross
Battleships,
shots.
yeah.
So Lulu is like doing something that you would never do normally, because you would have a battleship sitting probably in the middle of the south, which would
Lulu did something. I mean, Quincy did something really interesting there with his zigzag. He dropped his depth charges to try and provide a little bit of visual cover as the depth charge explosions went off. I thought that was interesting. I've not seen that before.
That's I don't want to use the word phrase tryharding because that has negative connotations. But that's like really trying hard to win. That's really cool.
That's next level destroyer play, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. Okay, Summer's laying a smoke screen for Elysium's Annapolis.
Yeah, it looks like. Go ahead.
There are torps coming towards the Annapolis, but I don't think they're going to miss unless Hu Tao turns.
With the A-cap locked up and Quincy pushed well back, I'm really not sure how Elysium's going to get back into this game. They need to try and bag a kill, but I'm just not certain where they're going to find it. Most of the range ships are fairly healthy. They've picked pretty heavily on Lulu, but I mean, it's a Petro, right? Without a battleship to slap him around or some torpedoes or a drive-by to really punish him, you've got to whittle him down the slow way, and that has been proven very difficult for them.
Yeah, I think Petro in this, I can't remember how many points it is off the top of my head. We'll have to have a look between the games, but I would imagine Petro is pretty expensive because it's a very, very hard ship to kill.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a check and look at the point values. Didn't have time to do it before we got into this game, but we'll check.
We'll have time between.
We'll have time between games. It'll probably take them 3 or 4 minutes to get reset.
Yeah, exactly. I think Elysium's only chance here is really if the Shima gets lucky with a torp. Just looking at the Rain health pools over on the other side, they are pretty good compared to the Elysium health pools.
Right. Yeah, and the Howden Liu here, that's Azuma Saren's Liu's going to get picked here in a minute. He's on fire again. He's spotted. Ship Shady's Des Moines backing up now to bring the AP in. In fact, they're going to try and get him out of there completely.
I think that's what either like the island pushed them off, or just the back and forth has gradually moved them away from the island. So they've had to. You were saying
they needed the Shimakaze to get lucky with the torp, but it's the other way around. The Holland gets lucky with the torp, taking out the Shima over here on the 8 line, and then they do finally bag the Howden Liu south of A. That's going to wrap this game up. There's no way for Elysium to get back in now.
Shout out for the Elysium Shima player who's playing the Angler camo, which I really like.
Which one? The Shima?
The Shima was wearing the anglerfish camo.
Right.
Yeah, the monster skin.
Yeah, like the monster. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. In fact,
Quincy should be the next one.
Yeah, Quincy looks like he's just kind of open watering it, like, let's end this. They know it's over. A couple of shells will end this game. There it was. Seconds tick away. And Rain's going to go up 1-0. Now, again, Rain was the fourth place EU team. And one of the things you got to remember as you watch this event, guys, is, you know, I won't say a lot of clans. Some clans, once they get into the, you know, that typhoon, hurricane, whatever, they're not super concerned or super sweaty, try hard about what rank they finish, right? The rewards are getting into that and then getting the games in to get all the steel you can earn. And then after that, it's like, do we really care if we finish first or second? I mean, some teams really do care, but some teams don't. And so you're going to see, I mean, despite the fact that this is the EU fourth place team, I mean, Rain is a good competitive team.